Moses returned to the Lord and said, O Lord, why have you brought trouble upon this people? Is this why you sent me? Ever since I went to Pharaoh to speaking in my ear. Yeah. He has brought trouble upon this people, and you have not rescued your people at all. Then the Lord said to Moses, Now you will see see what I will do to Pharaoh. Because of my mighty hand, he will let them go. Because of my mighty hand, he will drive them out of his country. Like, no. You see that, yes, Pharaoh is obstinate. He doesn't want to. But I will bring about what I plan. God also said to Moses, I am the Lord. I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as God Almighty, which means El Shaddai, but by my name, the Lord. I did not make myself known to them. So some people, like, this is clear evidence of the documentary hypothesis. No. It's a bunch of atheists not understanding ancient Middle Eastern context, and just thinking our Western understanding is the understanding everyone had. So this YouTube channel called Inspiring Philosophy shows several different sources, scholarly sources, all just tearing this idea apart in a video called Did the Patriarchs Know Yahweh? Yes. So, there is a way to easily handle this. It's the idea of a name function, as in, okay, this one guy, Njaphan Khan Refe, has surmised it pretty well. You know, it's almost as if he's saying, you know me as a god with a certain name, but until now you really haven't known what it entails to be the believer of that name. You all knew that I was God, but now you will see why my name says that I am in command. Basically, you knew me in one aspect, but here's another, a more different aspect though. Oh, you're going to get a greater idea of who I am, and throughout the Bible, it's like a progressive, more revelation. Genesis, it's some idea. Then Exodus, a more idea of who God is. Then all the way up to Malachi, you get this idea. Then the New Testament comes, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and you see a brand new revelation. Details throughout the apostles. And then once you get to Revelations, you know that God is the righteous judge of the earth, and he loves you very, very much. I also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan where they live as aliens. Moreover, I have heard the groaning of the Israelites when the Egyptians are enslaving them, and I have remembered my covenant. Therefore, say to the Israelites, again, this remembered thing is more like, I have not forgotten, don't worry. Therefore, say to the Israelites, I am the Lord. I will bring you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. I will free you from being slaves to them. And I will redeem you with an outstretched arm, like with no, and with mighty acts of judgment. I will take you as my own people, and I will be your God. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God, and no, yeah, who brought you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians, and I will bring you to the land I swore with uplifted hand to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. I will give it to you as a possession, and I am the Lord. Actually, okay, if this was all made up, why would chapter 5 exist? Basically saying things got worse and the Israelites didn't like it at all and turned against Moses. So, what happens? Moses reported this to the Israelites, but they did not listen to him because of their discouragement and cruel bondage. So, if this was all made up, why does verse 9 exist? Why? Why not just say the Israelites were encouraged and fought off the Egyptians with their mighty work? No, all of chapter 6 is saying God's going to do it. God is. The Israelites do nothing. The only Israelite that does anything is Moses, who keeps on going like, let my people go. The Israelites do nothing in their own salvation. Oh, because it's not works-based. Yeah, the Israelites do nothing in their salvation. God does everything. See? Here's the concept of non-work-based salvation in the Old Testament. Serious, but in another way too, it's just like, what if this was all made up trying to make the Israelites seem like the best, most strongest people ever who will conquer the whole earth? Why have them be slaves in Egypt? Why have them be like, this God is not leading us to salvation? Why have them be non-participants in their own salvation? Why, like, oh, they just conquered the Egyptians, slaughtered them all, and Egypt became a vassal of Israel? The theory that the Israelites in the Babylonian exile made this all up to make themselves sound great and wonderful falls apart when you realize the Old Testament doesn't make the Israelites sound like this all-powerful, mighty, unbeatable nation that no one can stop, that should be worshipped as if they were gods. The Old Testament does not seem like a book of arrogance. Then the Lord said to Moses, go tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to let the Israelites go out of his country. But Moses said to the Lord, if the Israelites will not listen to me, why would Pharaoh listen to me, since I speak with flattering lips? Again, why have Moses question him? Like, even back when Moses was like, please send somebody else. Why? Why do that? If it was all just made up to make the Israelites seem like the superior people, the Bible does a terrible job at doing that. If that was the case, Moses killed somebody and then was a coward. And the Israelites are just like, we're slaves. Oh, great, you made it worse. Now what are we going to do? So, anyway, next up, yeah, it's about all making God great. Communicating that God is great. The greatest of all. Because God does all the work here. The Israelites do nothing. Yeah, that's a good way to make the Israelites look like great mighty warriors. I'm sorry, I just find the documentary hypothesis so stupid. Anyway, so next time we're going over the family record of Moses and Aaron. Yes, that means more ages. And see you. Actually, no, not seeing you then, because I'm going on vacation. So see you the Saturday after that. Yeah, or I could do it Sunday. Well, I guess you're gonna find out. So let's look at like one more. Oh yes, this one person. I think the dilemma could easily be solved if we just accept the term El simply meant God. Yes, that's true. El just meant God. That is the title of the creator. To this day, we still call him just the same way by his title, not by his name. It's just a common practice to practice and especially useful to communicate with people from other religions who might use different names for the same title. Yes, Abraham may have known that name, but it's unlikely that alone may have prevented him from continuing to call God by his title instead. Yes. Um. Oh, you can go look at the old comments if you want to. I'm going to leave the video in the description. Yeah. Anyway. See you then.